Audio file number 59. Number 59, eh? How about that? Well, today is the 6th of May. It's Wednesday, the 6th of May. And it is 5 minutes past 4. Kind of starting this walk quite late. Starting the walk quite late. Just been on the phone to my mother. Can you hear the laughter next door? Social distancing, my ass. Audrey and her friends. Actually, it's just one friend. I think they're fine. Right. Gotta go down and begin that walk. I'm gonna bring my whiskey flask. When the thing gets to you, you have to bring your thing. You have to bring your thing. He loves a little bit of whiskey in the morning. Sip of whiskey for you. There you go. That's grand stuff, isn't it? Oh God, he gets you up. Get you.
On your arm?
Yeah.
On your face?
Get you playing with your ball, huh? Want another sip? God, he loves it. Oh, Jesus. He's not a bit. Oh, he loves that stuff. Oh, God, that's great.
So nothing special at all, huh?
Beg your pardon?
She always have a bit of a depressive voice at the beginning, your mum, and then she
Hi.
gets...
How's everything?
Yeah, and then she gets a bit...
Everyone has their...
bored in front of the TV, you know, and...
but she gets a bit more energized.
Yeah, as she talks to you along the conversation, I've noticed that few times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Energized, exactly.
No, everything's the same. They can go out now, that's good. They can go for a walk.
Oh, they can, okay.
They're taking it very seriously, though. Surprised. Did you hear what she said about Anne?
No.
And I go with Anne and we go to the graveyard, you know. And sometimes we're walking and Anne says, "You're drifting a bit near me now. You're drifting a bit near me, Patty. Go back."
Really?
No, go over there now. Keep to your side now. And I'm going, I don't really think you've got to worry about giving it to each other. I mean, you've been in hibernation for I don't know, 6 weeks.
But she's a very anxious person, Anne.
They do. All of them seem to be... I think old people, I guess, because if they get it, they're dead. I mean, my mother would probably be dead if she caught that.
No, they didn't all die, the old people, no?
No, but it's not like us getting it. You're like really into, you know.
Unknown territory, yeah.
So, yeah, but I was saying, really, with Anne, I don't think you need to worry too much, because they're really... You know, Anne, apparently, she's been at home, and everyone has been coming up and leaving stuff outside on the...
You know,
on the steps. Anne is not very well at all, so she's, you know, Anne, she's never looks that well.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least they're getting out a bit. We were just saying it could be, well, you heard us, could be different. It's not something's going to end. I think that's people need to. It's not like, hey, the lockdown's finished, let's go, you know.
Very happy. It's a good way to control us a bit more as well, to control our freedom. I mean, it's a fake freedom anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I hear the police stopping her,
she
said they stopped her once, and you know, they stop you to know where you're going and where you've been and stuff. Now maybe it's for her own good. They say, you know, you're an old lady, you need to be careful. But when I heard the woman saying,
she was controlled there.
Over there, I think that's police, and that's the danger of this kind of thing. And a lot of police people it's going to their head. This, hey, stop, you know, I'm God now.
A lot of them are a bit stupid, you know, they're a bit human creature. Like
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go for my daily, doing my vlog as well.
I wanted to know, your little microphone, like that, yeah, that one.
This is only specific for this one. This doesn't work on anything else. It's like a very mono kind of thing.
I can't plug that to my mobile.
I have two other ones that you can use, yeah.
If I wanted to do that type of video things, because
Oh
on
yeah,
my
yeah,
mobile,
yeah.
if I want to take a video, I need to leave my finger pressed all the time. You know that? That's not very.
What?
You know when you take a video on the mobile phone?
You just have to press the thing and
Oh yeah.
do a video,
right.
yeah.
Huh? But I'll be interesting to test if I can plug that microphone if I'm up in the woods, you know, not to hear too much of the wind or you know to hear.
Oh
what
yeah,
my
yeah,
voice.
yeah. I've already tested that. It's much better.
So that works.
Yeah, not this specific one. I've got better ones.
Okay.
But yeah, the lapel mics, they don't get the wind as much.
A small one, that I can carry around.
Well, it's
Not
like
the
this.
big thing. Oh, that one, yeah. Okay.
Not this one, but I have
That
two
doesn't
more.
work, yeah.
Yeah, with the longer flex.
Okay, I'll try that.
Hmm. Could do that. Yeah, and they'll pick up the sounds better, I think, than the phone. Like now you can pick up all the lovely. So just close your eyes and imagine you're in a countryside. It's all the nice. So you're going to stay here for a bit then, yeah?
Wait.
Carry on doing your work. Do you have anything to say? Oh, good lord.
Did I break something behind?
Yeah,
You dig?
yeah. You have to be careful.
Careful,
Flora.
I'm going to go down there.
There's a lot of... Cause these chairs were not really meant to take so much weight.
Well, now you have to give me a kiss.
I've got this on as well, so... Do you want to say anything to the viewers? That was a real kiss for all the viewers.
It's okay.
Yeah, baby.
People could watch. Bye. Bye.
I'll be back in an hour. What are we going to do? Are we not? We can manage tonight with what we have. Yeah, we don't need to do shopping. Or we can go shopping.
Yeah.
I'll see when I get back. Yeah. Right. I like Tuco. He's not interested at all in coming now. It's too hot.
You know it's going to be too warm.
He just says, I'm fine.
Okay. Not the same in the morning, huh?
No, he's fine. Right. That's going to sound... Kissing is going to sound very loud. So, get the feeling that traffic is almost back to normal. I already said the day, didn't I? Friday was the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, the 6th. The 6th of May. We're almost finished the first week already. I didn't put any sun cream on. I lied to Flo. I should have put some on though. I can actually feel the heat going through the black here on my t-shirt. Yeah. I should try and go down toward the trees and get into the shade. It's Wednesday, so what have we to catch up on today? So yesterday I did a Zoom meeting with my AA colleagues, and I was a bit apprehensive about joining at first. I don't know why. I think it's because I saw Anthony and I just got a little inhibited for some reason, but I did go on eventually when the meeting started, and eventually I clicked on the video camera and I was beautifully silhouetted because I had the light coming in from the back, so you couldn't really see my face or anything, which felt good. That's kind of the way I wanted it to be. And it was more fun to use that technology, but also it was nice. It's nice to see all the familiar faces and hear people's voices. Even though, like I said to Flo, I can't remember what anybody said, except that we were talking about pride. But I was so kind of busy watching everything, I wasn't listening. Cleveland shared. So that was pretty cool, an hour. And if I remember, I may have a crack at doing another one tonight somewhere else. And then I just spoke to my mother on the phone for half an hour. Just now. Sitting in the garden looking at the poppies. My God, the poppies are beautiful. On one side, and on the other side you've got this fantastic green crop. It's slowly starting to take the shape of wheat. I can see the, I don't know what you call them, there's a word, I'm sure. You can see the heads of wheat starting to appear everywhere. I felt good this morning. I thought I'm going to go out and sit outside and not think about anything. Sense of like I'd made some progress on that problem of always being a little irritated because I feel I should be doing something online, you know. Realizing that that's the new form of psychological enslavement, in a way, giving you the feeling that of guilt or something, that you should be using all this wonderful equipment you've got, cameras and audio devices and power directors and all these different things, and you should really be knocking out an interesting video every day. Or uploading an interesting vlog every day. Of course, I could have been uploading these, but I mean, unless it's seriously on an really anonymous channel, because these I don't think these are types of blogs I'd like to share with everybody I know. I wouldn't mind sharing them with strangers. So can't just upload audio to YouTube, can you? I think it has to be MP4 or 3. Interesting idea, though. That channel, for instance, This Life, no subscribers. That would be one you could go start uploading things. Why though? Because they'd be there for you to listen to. Look, I'm really hot. Let's try and get into the shade. Anyway, this morning I felt quite free of all that stuff. Now I'm starting to think about it. It comes back and it bothers me, the thought of, oh, you should do this or do that. It's like a feeling of trying to organize something. That they're worth something, all these audio pieces. And that if they go there, there'll be some kind of a little statement between me and the rest of the world. Well, kind of anonymous. No one's going to know it's me. Just my own little channel. I won't tell anybody about it. I won't tell Flo, I won't tell anybody. So they're the little state of the weeds that grow in the mind when I start contemplating on doing such a thing. My mind starts to get ensnared in that, and I'm thinking, well, how would I do that? I start to upload the things in chronological order. How would that work? I go back to the beginning of the year. Because that's when I started doing all this audio stuff. Really, I think it was. Anyway, that would be something. I'm sitting down on a rock where Flo meditates sometimes. Nice breeze. It's actually very hot today. I don't know. Anybody would be interested. It would just be a whole lot of vlogs, audio. Maybe it might just be interesting for myself as a project, you know. I can't go back years and years. I don't want to dig up audio that's got no relevance anymore. But I could just Audio 1 2020, you know, just from this year. I could go back. Upload each of them with a sketch or something. Yeah, I like the idea. Then again, I like the idea of making audio of all my notebooks. I like that idea about a week ago. But the idea got canned, as they say, because I thought a lot of that might be stupid. But maybe I could go back to that as well and have a look. See, this is the thing that's bugging me. It's kind of intriguing and attractive, these ideas. And there's a sense that there'd be a great payoff in this if you could do it. But they're also extremely irritating. They're blocking me from something, you know. These ideas are they're kind of hurting me in some ways. They're ideas that I seem to feel driven. It's like I feel driven to put all this stuff out there somewhere because I feel it's important for something, and I'm trying to go on that intuition, knowing that I'm not going to see anything from it, but it's just there's a sense that it'd be nice to have it out there so I can kind of go, well, I've left my own mark in my own way, you know. I've kind of put my it's a bit like putting the message in a bottle, you know. I've put my own self out there online as much as possible. I've categorized as much of my writing stuff and all the audio stuff. And so it's there. Maybe it's some kind of desire, unconscious desire to be remembered. It's an unconscious desire to keep some kind of part of me here, so that when I'm no longer here, which is almost impossible to grapple with, but I know it's one of those things. It's a great example of knowing in an intellectual, academic way, but not really having an awareness of. That's the sensation that I'm standing here now, looking at this stream. There'll come a time in the future and this riverbed won't be the same, and maybe the stream will be moved somewhere, or it could be dry. But I will not be anywhere around. In 50 years or so, or 60 or 70 years, I'll be gone. Just a few decades, really. It's not that long. And when I'm gone, it is kind of a nice plan to think, well, you've uploaded lots and lots of stuff. Lots of stuff that would seem boring, pointless, repetitive, audios and notebooks onto sites in YouTube with no subscribers and no traffic, which perhaps in the future YouTube, in order to make space, may at some point decide to delete lots of stuff that hasn't been used for a certain amount of time. They could have algorithms that could do that very easily, so it's a very strong possibility that even if you did something like that and you've got hours and hours of audio on a site, it may well be all deleted. But it might not. That's just a chance you take. It would have to be something that's not work. What I'm doing now with these audio blogs, they're absolutely not work at all. They're an absolute part of my daily routine. I look forward to doing this. It would have to be something similar, putting things online. It would have to be a routine part of the day, maybe every night at some point. I spend a few minutes putting something online, but then you get into the classification. You'd have to do it in some kind of order, wouldn't you? You'd have to, you don't want to be doing the same thing over and over again. You need to work that stuff out, and it needs to be separate from the notebooks. So you could put a whole sequence of audios from January. I think that would be the best thing to do through the lockdown. I'll have to go through some stuff, see if I can get all these things lined up on my desktop, for instance. A piece of audio for nearly every day this year. So far we're up to May. I don't have tons and tons of audios like this from the past because I didn't really do very many. They'd need to be done in some order. They'd need to be done quick. I don't think it'd be possible for me to start going over it and listening to them and doing any kind of editing on them. It wouldn't be possible to do that. And it wouldn't be possible to listen to them to find out what exactly the date and the day was and put the day and the date in the comments. I don't think that's important, because I in each of these things I say the date at the beginning, so it doesn't matter. And then we just do one from the beginning of this year. I mean, that's already hours and hours of stuff. Probably something in the region of maybe 70, 80 uploads. That would be already. Yeah. Anyway, I think the sun has gone behind the cloud. It's gone behind the cloud. It's going to be there for 2 minutes. Not much more. Things like that grip me. It's kind of, they grip my mind, and there's a certain obsessive sanity about it all, you know. Trying to get it organized. I don't know why it's untidy. I want to make it tidy. But life is not tidy, you know. Life is untidy. Life is not organized. Life is unorganized. It's chaotic. We all know these things. It's unpredictable. So I should stop trying to be tidy and categorized when I start thinking up projects. I should just think, yeah, have a crack at that. Start from the beginning of the year. Just fucking upload them, do your sketch. And that's it. They're there. They're done. And it's out of your system somehow. And it's up there. It's up there. It's funny, that creativeness. I think maybe everybody has the same working somewhere. The guy next door to us, he's building this, and he has to cut his grass, and I think my dad had to cut his grass. It's all the same thing, just different outlets for it. So one guy is to cut the grass, me, it's to upload this audio that's lying around on the laptop. But it's the same kind of core mechanism. It just needs to be a pleasurable thing. It needs to be a looking forward to. In my very, very gloomy thing yesterday, I must always remember how these things change, by the way. I don't feel gloomy at all today. I'm not sure I mentioned that yesterday when I was talking about the existentialist thing and what's it all about, and you have not, you know, you get days when you feel you've got nothing to look forward to, and well, it's just the way you feel at that time. But everything passes these states, and it's a great thing to hang on to when you're in a downward slump. You keep the knowledge to yourself that there is a magic and a miraculousness about us. When I say us, do I mean everybody, or do I mean just us? You guys, girls. A miraculousness that means, hey, the next day you can bounce back. Now maybe that's not the case for people suffering from a manic state. And maybe with them they go too far down, too far up, and it's really not pleasant. But in general, for someone like me, I'm kind of astonished how I can go from yesterday to today. I've practically forgotten about yesterday. I mean, I'd have to listen back to the vlog, but I know it was very gloom and doom, and yet today I find myself buoyed and quite lightened by the idea of putting together a vlog, like just uploading all these vlogs in a very kind of easy, unofficial way on my anonymous site with little sketches on each. I just find that a very pleasing idea. And so my mood goes up, and it hasn't taken a week, or it's just taken a few hours. We need to always be aware of that. Wow, I'm looking at the maize here at the sweet corn. It's like it's notably grown between yesterday and today. I wonder how the growth works. Is it a steady couple of millimeters every day, or does it happen in kind of spurts and bursts? Because now looking at it, up to now it was just these tiny little stalks coming up in a field which is brown. You know, you can clearly see the brown, but now it's getting to the point where the green is starting to take over the brown. In a few more days, maybe a week or two, it's going to be totally green there. You won't be able to see the earth anymore. Vlog. Yeah. It may be that the process I'm doing this now is what I like. And maybe the process of uploading something will be nice. If I can set some set time for doing it, that I enjoy it. I'd like something to become so much of a nice habit that I can't wait to do it every day. It's a pleasure. But I have to see. Maybe there's a way of transferring the audio to an MP4 without putting it all through the Power Director thing. Ideally, you'd like to upload it very fast. Without producing it. Maybe that's not possible. Anyway, this whole walk has been an obsession about that. So today has been a good day. Quite a relaxed day. More than yesterday, more than the other days. I wanted to say to Flo as well, isn't it funny the way I'd like to get her to be aware of the passing of states and humour, so that we're all best friends at the moment, me and her, everything's great. And yet it's inevitable that the shift will come again. It's also inevitable that shift will end, and we'll go back to being the best of friends again. I just wonder, is there a way of... I'd love to break that circle of what we do. You know, it's not even that I would like to go on forever working in the Connemara. I just wish, I kind of feel as soon as Flo accepts things, and I kind of think as soon as we get out of this circle of, this argumentative dialogue that's been going on for years and years and years, and it's kind of the same. I kind of feel as soon as we get over this, as soon as we get out of it, as soon as we break that circle, things will happen. soon as flow, I say flow because I feel I would let things run as smooth as possible, and yet I have a feeling that perhaps things will certainly come along. We just keep our eyes open, and there will be other things to do, and the world is changing. We have to believe in that and not be thinking, oh, we have to stay in the Connemara, that's it for us. That's very boring and bleak. I don't want to think like that either. That's the kind of thinking that kind of would get anyone depressed. That's why I was, that's the leads to the state of mind that I had yesterday. I may try and say that to flow, but of course it's a treacherous kind of dialogue to even touch on, because it can lead back into that circle again. If I say we just got to leave it well alone and things will happen, and I think as soon as we accept things and relax, things will change as soon as we break this circle. And she's going to say, yeah, but we can't. It won't just happen by itself. We have to make the move. And then it gets back into, you have to go and do this, and you have to, and I have to. And before we know it, we're repeating the same argument we had a decade ago for the 1000th time. Possible that some things are kind of intuitive thoughts and they're not really easy to put into words. You need to be a very skilled wordsmith or psychologist to get ideas across kind of the way you want, without causing the other person to get into the wrong scenario, to get into the wrong thinking. So here I am by the river here, and I am filling up my cantina. Got to let the water in, and as soon as the air bubbles stop, that'll do. I love the idea of carrying around a liquid in a metal container. Let's go back to the alcoholic days maybe, but now it's just water. But still I'm using the thing. It's nice. It's nice to be able to use stuff. That's also what leads to some of the obsessions with me. I want to use everything I have in the computer room, which is just not possible. Well, I mean, it might be, but you can't use 3 phones and half a dozen cameras and half a dozen audio devices. I mean, you just can't. So strange to think back at the time, back in, well, now I know the date actually. Was it Christmas 79? I believe it was Christmas 79, going into the new year 80, that I got that radio. I had the date pinned down. But it's so hard to imagine one time that was it. So no wonder I thought so highly about it, because I had one gadget. I had one object. Just that radio. That was long before I got a camera or anything. just a little black radio that I listen to every night in bed. I think that's why listening to audio and stuff in bed over the last few weeks it has been a strangely soothing process, and I think it kind of harks back to listening to the radio when I was 14. So I guess it triggers something. It triggered something. I'm beginning to walk back past the electricity pylon, into the breeze, and now I'm looking in front at the hills and well, you wouldn't call them mountains, maybe the hills of Oxenvillenov, and behind them there is just pure blue. Just pure blue screen, not a cloud at all over there. Everything is so vibrant now. It's a bit later, things will probably turn brown, but at the moment it's just this beautiful greens and beautiful blues. It's what Ireland would have been like if we'd had better climate. It's also beautiful to be walking around here talking to myself and feeling confident that there isn't anybody around. It's another good thing about this path coming back. You can see way in front. Actually, as I look, I do see somebody now. They're coming this way, but they're quite a ways away. I like my water fresh from the stream. Anything else to say? Last night, let's just fill us up on the details of the day in the life. This life, it's the first time I've used that. Not the first time, but in a context where I'm projecting that perhaps these audio things will end up there. In this life. So what happened yesterday? Well, me and Flo watched a few episodes of Friends. Friends is kind of miraculous. They made so many that I was watching it last night, and it's like really watching it almost for the first time. You remember little bits, the big gags, but for every big gag there's about 15 small gags. Those ones you don't remember. You couldn't, because they're like rapid fire. It's got an aesthetic to it as well, which is really nice. It's that sense of, I don't know, it's my word for describing aesthetics a lot of the time is it's tidy. I don't really mean that's just the thing, tidy, but it's the colours, the clothes, the look. It's just pleasant. Like a blonde bombshell coming toward me. Buongiorno. Mm. the shade, thankfully. Blonde bombshell. When she got closer, this is kind of so sad, it turns out that she's probably my age. And I know I had the reaction with horror that any young girl would have with me. If a girl sees me walking from the distance and their eyesight's not that good, they just see this figure. There's a chance that they may think, oh, there's this guy coming toward me with a red hat. And he's reasonably thin and everything. That's cool, I'm going to meet a guy on the path. But then when we get close enough, she's like 22. And she says hello to me and passes on. And even before that, it's like there's just that second of recognition when she'd say, oh, it's an old guy. It's terrible. I just did it myself to that lady. Instead of thinking, just because that woman that passed you is not a 20-year-old, doesn't mean that she still, she looked quite fit. She may have a very fit body. She may be perfect. When it comes to sex, she may be very interesting, blah, blah, blah. But it's sad, and maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm a terrible person it's almost like a snap judgment. Oh, from a distance I thought you were a 20-year-old blonde. There's almost a slight disappointment that's it's almost like an unconscious, an immediate thing, Maybe that's biological as well. Maybe it's to do with the unconscious stuff that wants to, the reproduction, Maybe there's a part that's working on that level, just on reproduction, and it's like, well, if you're going to reproduce, there's no point in reproducing with that woman, she's too old. You need the young 20-year-old to reproduce with. That's the way it works. I don't know. It's just I know that if it was a 20-year-old girl and it wasn't that, let's say it was the 20-year-old bombshell, she would have exactly the same reaction to me that I did to her, that woman. She'd go, oh, who is this? Is it a young guy? Oh, it's an old guy. What a shame. It's subtle. That whole play, the older people with the younger people. It's subtle, and it's like I'm not sure there was ever a time that I didn't fancy attractive looking girls any less or more, but you might even say when you get older you may even find the younger girls more attractive, and you may be even more desperate for some kind of recognition than you ever were, and it's the time you won't get any. Jesus, what am I going to be saying to myself if I get to be in my 70s? Because then you're not just like an old guy anymore, you're like fucking gone into it's a different stage altogether. You're almost, for certain people, a really old person is they're all complete charity cases. You don't want to be around really old people. I don't think I'm just speaking for myself. I've always had a lot of time for older people, but I think younger girls and younger people in general, given a choice, they don't want to spend much time with a 70-year-old. I haven't got there yet, so whatever sense of disappointment I feel about the lack of interest, it's certainly not going to get better. It's going to get worse. Unless I go for that kind of really fucking crazy eccentric look, dye my hair weird colour, and I just start wearing really fucking freaky hats or something. So then you can you can become of interest just for your eccentricities. Where's this tractor going? I don't know, is it on the path or is it cutting the grass? Can't quite figure out. I don't know. I think it's stopping. I don't know if you can pick up that on the mic. I don't know if you can pick up that at all. It might be a faint sound in the distance. That's a tractor. That's a tractor. Thinking again of my audio project, uploading things to that channel. I like kind of organizing things like that, finding things, so that might be fun to just again have to just go through my other two phones and the Danzaroo and just find anything, basically anything that I've done this year I want to include. I think I hear Tuco barking. That's my boy. We're marching down the path. The grass is kind of too long to go that way now. Oh, I didn't mention first time I almost forgot to mention Transport Fever 2. There hasn't been a fucking day gone by since the beginning of March when I haven't said something about that. So yesterday I designed another map, taking into account what I was thinking about the previous night, and I just put two different towns. Just two towns. They're big towns, they're going to become big towns. And that was it. So that I can really focus on the details, because like I was saying, if you've got 4 towns and each town has 2 industries, and each industry is like 3 or 4 things to keep an eye on, it just gets to the point where you can't keep an eye on everything, and you get to 2010 and you realize you're still using stagecoaches on one of the lines because you haven't looked at it in 90 years game time. And yesterday I had a great session last night because I was able to focus on just the 4 industries. They're basically building materials and tools, so both towns need the same thing. And I put a rail link between both, and I was able to do a lot more work with buses and bus links and things. And I think we're at 1910, or 1908 maybe. We just kind of went into the new century. And each town has got over 800 people already. And the supplies, after much editing and changing, I have like over 200 of units of each thing being supplied. So it's really cool to see it. It's like seeing something really working properly. And I'm just going to see how far I can go with it. Both towns are growing. I've got a river. So I'm hoping to, kind of for the first time really, I'm hoping to use the river to transfer people up and down from one town to the next. Yeah. So that's the transport fever bit as we head in. I'm coming to the... Here's the gate. It's quite a long walk. Not a long walk, the distance is the same, but I spent quite a long time out. Hello? Ah! Cuckoo! Hello, little fella. Ooh, Jojo. Good boy. All right, let's just sit down here. Perfect. Just finished my water from the stream. Just finished it, and now I guess we got Rita out there. I really don't like Rita being around Tuco. I hope they keep an eye on that. Oh boy, I've gone into another audio thing, number 1. I hope I'm not taping over things here, am I? Anyway, I'm going to stop 4 minutes. That means I've been here over an hour. If you get to 59 minutes, it moves you into another file. So I'm going to stop. If that is number 1, this should be part of 50 something. It's going to be hard to find. Hello, little fella. Oh. It's your dinner time, isn't it? Is that what you're reminding me of? Okay, so adios for now. And shall join you tomorrow for the next vlog. That's over and out.